It's time once again to sit down with one of our amazing members of the gaming community and this week's community share. This week we have Los Angeles tattoo artist Marc Durrant with us to talk about his jaw-dropping tattoo art. Marc, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
No, thank you so much. So, why don't you tell me a little bit? I think some of the questions we have are like, what are your earliest gaming memory? But we were talking a little bit before the call, and you actually mentioned you worked at THQ for a little bit as well, and you were actually in the video game industry for a bit.
That's right.
Yeah, for a little bit. When I first moved out, I'm actually from Pennsylvania. When I moved to California, I was trying to get into the video game industry, more on the development side, but I could only get a job on the production side. So yeah, I started off. I got a job at THQ for a few years. It was fun at the time, I guess. I mean, you get paid for playing video games, and
yeah, I mean, hey,
a lot more glorious sounding, but.
That's right. Yeah, and you were starting out in the trenches of QA, right? Like you were really down to the brick and mortar of video game development too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was like one of those things. I was looking for experience in the industry because, like, every job I would apply to say like, oh, you need experience, but you can't get into.
Yeah. That's a common problem, unfortunately.
I was like, maybe I could work my way in, but yeah.
Hey, it's hard. It's hard to climb your way up from QA. I mean, I was at THQ in QA also. Rest in peace. Sorry. Okay. All right, Andy, you're an actual interviewer. You should take this from me. I'm derailing it.
I mean, Marc's actually, thankfully, we did have a chance to talk beforehand, and he's a really interesting guy. So I'm going to quickly, too, before we move into your art, I'm going to put you on the spot and see what your favorite PlayStation games are, or any memories of PlayStation games.
Yeah, actually, the game that sold me a PlayStation was Final Fantasy VII, and then from there, I mean, I've gotten every iteration of the PlayStation console since, but I would have to sell it to Final Fantasy VII for getting me into it at the time.
Yeah, that one's still a classic to this day, and they're working on that remake, so we'll see it hopefully again one day soon. Hearing some moves from the room. Yeah, all right. I love it. All right, so obviously from video games, an artistic talent still resides deep inside you. What brought you from that into tattooing?
Actually, yeah, it was since I wasn't going anywhere in the video game industry, and I changed jobs, and then I was doing something completely unartistic and was hating it. So I just I needed to get back into using my artwork to hopefully make a living, and I was just brainstorming, trying to think of something to do, and kind of tattooing came up, and I went out and got an apprenticeship, and just sort of fell in love with tattooing, and. Which is, I guess, I got lucky because it's not one of those things where I thought I'd ever be a tattoo artist, but I'm really glad now that I am. So.
Amen. As someone who's lucky enough to be a community manager at Mixer right now, I know exactly how you feel. So, could we also too, actually, we're wondering if you could show us tell us about your game frame and cartoon frame tattoos.
Oh yeah, basically, I've been lucky enough to be able to sort of celebrate my enjoyment of video games and cartoons in my work, and the basic idea of the game frame was to sort of capture video game characters and some of the gameplay levels from the games they're in, and sort of get almost like a 2-for-1 in a way, but also to kind of capture that nostalgia. You see the character, and then you also a lot of people, you see the game that's represented inside, and a lot of people oh, I remember that level and stuff like that. So it's it's fun to kind of capture that sort of, and people get excited when they see it.
Yeah, it's certainly nice to have a piece of art that can be obviously on the surface really, really beautiful to look at, but there's a lot of depth there too for people who happen to be fans of that particular game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so go ahead. Sorry, Tara, I think I had a good one.
No, I mean, for me, when we were just, because we get the links to your socials so we can, internet creep on you before we talk to you.
It's a technical term, by the way.
Yeah, technical term.
Yeah.
The amount of detail and your color usage in your tattoos, I absolutely loved. And then you had several, even, they weren't some of your larger pieces, but you had a kind of a Jason from Friday the 13th Shy Guy mashup. That one, when I saw it on your Instagram, I was
pretty much in the moment, I think she saw it. Before she exhaled a breath, she emailed it back to us oh my God, this tattoo.
It was so good. So how when you have ones that are kind of mashups like that, are you coming up with it? Do you have people requesting things? Is it a combo? What's your process for those kind of out of the box ones?
A lot of that stuff I come up with, like for instance, the Jason Shy Guy came sort of from wanting to do, well, I wanted to do at the time more video game related tattoos, and I was doing a Halloween special, so I was just trying to like marry two kind of ideas together, and then, but I've also been asked, I did an entire sleeve for someone who wanted a video game and movie mashup, so he just basically gave me a list of movies he liked and a list of video games he liked, and he's pretty much gave me like freedom to do whatever I could come up with. He was like a great client in that respect, so had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, one of the ones that just had on we just had on screen. I don't know if you guys caught it. So not only was that Claptrap, but that was Claptrap with the fire extinguisher, like he was Wally. So totally one of those combinations that we were just talking about.
Yeah, actually. On the topic of those combinations, when people do come to you for game frame or cartoon frame pieces, our understanding is that you like to have a lot of creative control. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's just it's kind of more on the lines with sometimes like people come to you with like a lot of expectations, but may not exactly know what'll make a good tattoo and what may last, and a lot of that like. I try to get as much, I guess, creative freedom on it, just because my goal is to make a tattoo that works both compositionally and as a tattoo, and just something that I'm really excited to do, because like that energy translates into, I think, a better piece of artwork at the end of it as well. So I think that's where it stems from, just like really wanting to craft something that's, as good as it can be, and all that.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, too, in your time, you've got a really, really deep portfolio by the looks of things. What would you say is the most obscure game you've been asked to make a tattoo out of?
I think the most obscure one didn't actually happen, but it was like an educational game. Someone came to me, he was trying to like run off.
I want a Mavis Beacon tattoo.
Yeah, but then we went a different direction with it. That one didn't happen. So I guess like the runner-up would be somewhat less obscure, but it's still sort of obscure. I guess would just be Earthbound. I've had a few requests for that.
Yeah.
And, I know it's like a cult classic, but I think the mass audience may not be as familiar with it.
Certainly. Although I will note we got a thumbs up from the back of the room at the note of the Earthbound.
The production crew approves.
Yep.
All right. So I know this is obviously like asking you to choose, between your children.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick a favorite piece you've done so far, what would it be?
So that's like the hardest question that you ever ask. Yeah, I like a lot of them. Basically just probably like mostly from like since I started doing like the game frame stuff, a lot of those are, it's hard to pick one, but I don't know. It is. It's just like choosing between your children. I don't know. They're all my babies,
Yeah. Well, hey, man, for what it's worth, after having looked over your Instagram account, we know full well there's a lot to love in there, so we can understand the challenge.
Yeah, so good.
So out of curiosity, too, when it comes to booking a session with someone, our understanding, too, is that it's typically an all-day engagement for you rather than trying to fit a lot of little engagements in. Can you tell us about your process when it comes to actually, setting up the tattoo session and everything?
Yeah, I usually just... I think part of it's like a personal just desire to just focus on that tattoo for the day, and just really craft something that's special. And as far as like, sometimes when you're just taking lots of appointments, which I do on I do special like flash days on certain occasions, and I think like part of that is my brain telling me like, hurry up and get done because you have all these people waiting. So it's like part of that desire is just to be able to focus on just what's at hand, and not being worried about, you got to get done and be by a certain time. And
no doubt, just let you operate more in the present.
Yeah,
certainly.
So
yeah, as someone with tattoos, I appreciate a non-distracted tattoo artist. It's a good thing to have. All right, so we've talked a lot about your work, but let's ask a question for you now. Okay, so what, hopefully PlayStation, games are you currently playing?
I have a bit of gamer ADD, so I actually am playing like several games. I've got a couple of the Dark Souls going on, and Bloodborne.
You're also a glutton for punishment by the sounds of things, man.
Well, I do like a challenge. But, also, let's see what else. I'm still working on Phantom Pain, but
Yeah,
I got
there's a lot.
late.
Yeah, there's a lot to unravel in there. That
And
one's
I
going to take a
still
while.
have to pick up the new God of War, so
Yes. Definitely need to get
So
that.
good.
Or you can check out photo mode.
Yes, it's so good.
Our
Yes,
last episode, we were talking all about photo mode, so I had to replay. All right. So, what events can people see you at next? Are you going to any shows or doing anything or having a flash day like you mentioned soon?
probably the next thing I'm doing is in August. I'm doing the Hell City Convention in Arizona. I don't really have any other concrete plans, but I usually try to do some like guest spots and probably maybe some other conventions before the year's out. But I usually try to keep that posted on my website. So.
Wonderful. And for those people that are out there looking for you, where can they find your work online?
The easiest place is Instagram, just Marc Durrant, Marc with a C, and then my website's marcdurrant.com. So
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Marc,
either of those is a good spot.
perfect. Yeah, that's for what it's worth. We can also attest that the Instagram is a wonderful place to
It
spend an
did
awful
just
lot of
get
time.
posted in the chat, so you guys click on that link, go
Perfect.
check out his stuff. It is dope.
Perfect. Awesome. Marc, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. Everyone, please be sure to make sure you go out and give Marc a follow on his socials. And if you're in the LA area and in need of a sweet gaming tattoo, Marc's your guy. Marc, to that end too, I hope to be bothering you at some point soon.
Awesome. Thanks,
Perfect.
guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.